Good early evening again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. Welcome to Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. I wanted to tell you a couple things quickly, and then I'll launch into the actual purpose of this video. First of all, I have several purple tank tops. I don't want you to get the idea. I mean, I do wear a shirt for a couple days before laundering it because, you know, it's not like I'm flying around the house working up a total sweat, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have to have a new shirt every day to impress my cats, or you maybe. So, okay, just wanted to get that off my chest. Also, in one of my recent videos in which I talked about our dear sweet Israel and the unfair coverage that our media gives it, blah, 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 I mentioned that I had done a video about the various biases in the media, and then I remembered I didn't do a video like that, I don't think. So that is what I'm going to do right now. I think I must have mentioned that in an interview. I was interviewed by my dear sweet Rez, please, and I believe I mentioned that then. Or I don't know, maybe I just mentioned it in the comment section. Whatever the case may be, I am now going to go over this, and I have it written down. I've had it written down forever, and I hang it beside the bed on a lamp using a clothespin, I'm sure. Okay, we don't have a liberal media, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to shock you of that. If the media were really liberal, they would be talking about ending wars, criminal justice reform. Oh, my dear, my telephone is ringing. What to do? I'm just going to let it ring, and I'll get it, I'll get the message in a minute. Okay. Yeah, that's what a real liberal media would do. What the media is, of course, corporately owned. There's 6 corporations that basically have control over 90% of what we take in through newspapers, magazines, television shows, actual news programs on, the television, so forth and so on. And what they have, in case you haven't noticed, they don't cover boring, mundane subjects that affect the American people, like net neutrality being taken away and stuff like that. Instead, they have to get ratings. They have to do this, all part of being a corporation. A corporation's goal, according to their charter, is to profit, profit, profit. So they have several different biases, whatever. One is sensationalist bias. And that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anything that, Donald Trump tweeted something inappropriately and it's, sensational news, like the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky thing, that would be an example of the sensationalist bias. Establishment or corporate, or the same thing bias, establishment bias, we'll just call it, is clearly towing the line for the establishment. This is why when somebody like a Bernie Sanders or even a Ron Paul would be interviewed by a corporate talking head, they went after them a little harder because they don't want to upset the apple cart. They don't want anybody to come in and get rid of the status quo and what, many call the establishment. Getting rid of reinstating Glass-Steagall, things like that, that people like Ron Paul and, I'm not sure about Ron Paul, but Bernie Sanders had talked about reinstating. They don't want to hear any of that. They want to keep their profits. They want to keep on doing what they're doing. So that's an example of the establishment bias. And then we have neutrality bias, and I went over that in my previous video, but I'll do it again quickly. It's where everything is neutral. Everybody gets a fair shot. And so therefore, we're never told the actual fact of the matter is X. And then the way that a real reporter would handle stuff is they would say, here's the actual fact. It is X. Instead of giving other people a chance to come in like Y and Z, debating each other with this 50-50 neutrality bias. I see neutrality bias as a total downfall because, well, all of these are, but neutrality especially, and here's why. People are so used to this watered-down version where here's 50, Democrats say this, Republicans say that, and here the truth, just figure it out for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, kind of stuff, when that's not always the truth. Believe it or not, sometimes a Republican will have the story right, and the Democrat won't. And so that's what the news person should be saying, not just 50-50, we report, you decide kind of deal. No. Because people are so used to that, anytime an actual journalist comes out, speaks truth to power, doesn't carry the water for any team, like Glenn Greenwald, for example, Pulitzer Prize winner, brought us Edward Snowden and all that. When people are so used to the neutrality bias and then they tune into Glenn Greenwald, they think, oh my God, he's super liberal or something, only because he speaks the truth. Even if it has a negative effect on so-called liberals or so-called conservatives, he speaks the truth. Doesn't carry the water for either team. And people are getting mad at actual real reporters like Glenn Greenwald for speaking the truth about, for example, this Russian insanity and shenanigans that unfolded in the Clinton Foundation and stuff like that. A lot of people they're just not used to it, and it sounds like Glenn Greenwald is, I don't know, giving propaganda because we're so used to this. We're so used to the neutrality bias that when a real reporter comes along, even a comedian telling the truth like Jimmy Dore, liberals get all mad at him because he speaks the truth about the Democratic Party. Get it? So there is the media expose here. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day, including having notes. Signing off.